What's up, guys? And let's jump right into it. So just a few days ago, I made a congratulatory 100 subs live stream with one of my friends, Leslie of Nerds and Nutrition. Leslie and I aren't just, internet pals, we're actually friends in real life, and we even co-run the Earthlings Experience chapter in our city. Now, in the live stream, we discussed various aspects of veganism, from ethics to animal rights to bad diets, and I made a few comments about 100% raw food diets and was totally unprepared for the backlash that it would garner. I got a few private messages from my subscribers telling me that a YouTuber by the name of Logan had responded to me, and sure enough, he had made a rather lengthy and vehement response not even a day after the live stream went up. Before I get into my criticisms of his response, I'd like to make a few disclaimers. I am not a nutritionist, nor am I a doctor, nor am I trying to give dietary advice or influence the dietary decisions of other people. This video will serve as mainly a reiteration and/or elaboration of the comments that I made in the live stream. The second disclaimer is that my goal was and is not to debunk fruitarian diets as a whole, or even fruit-centered diets which supplement with nuts, seeds, grains, etc. My position is that raw fruitarian diets, 100% raw fruitarian diets, are not reasonable and have not been shown to adequately provide for all of one's nutrients. So I have a few criticisms in his video that I will discuss in this response. So a few of my criticisms are: he demonstrates a lack of understanding of appeal to nature, he misrepresents my position on the importance of studies, he fails to understand the importance of consensus, and although he doesn't explicitly state this, he does imply several times in the video that I don't recognize the importance of fruit in one's diet. Spoiler, fruits are healthy. Fruits are relatively high in vitamin C, potassium, fiber, and folic acid. It's quite obvious to most people that eating a diet enriched with fruits is essential to maintaining a healthy diet. I'd also like to add that fruitarian diets can be plausible with supplements. And conveniently, fruits are low in sodium, cholesterol, and fats, so eating lots of fruits can be a great way, with the combination of exercise, for some people to maintain their weight or lose weight. Yes, I put some in asterisks, and we'll get into that later in the video. Registered dietitian Laura Jeffers of the Cleveland Clinic highlights various benefits and potential risks of a fruit-centered diet. She talks about many of the benefits of eating a fruit-centered diet, including many antioxidants, vitamin C, beta-carotene. Also helpful to note, antioxidants help fight cancer. However, she does also list many of the potential risks of maintaining a long-term raw fruit diet, including weight gain, diabetes, tooth decay, and various nutritional deficiencies. Yes, fruits are extremely high in antioxidants and vitamin C, and this is great, but fruits are also extremely high in natural sugars, and eating lots and lots of natural sugars can put some people at risk of becoming overweight. A second risk of a long-term raw fruit diet is, well, tooth decay. And fruits are, as I said before, they are high in folic acid. It would be unreasonable for me to pretend that eating fruit is somehow going to cause cavities or to try to discourage people from eating fruits. Remember that I'm discussing a 100% raw fruit diet. We're talking about a diet which consists only of fruits for 13, 14, 15 years. A study performed by a group of German researchers in 1999 sought to investigate the link between dental erosions and nutritional factors of various raw food diets. No, this study was not done specifically on fruit diets, but I will explain how this ties into fruitarian diets after I explain the results of the study. 130 raw foodists were studied over the span of about 39 months. The researchers randomly selected a control group of 76 people who were to be fed conventional diets throughout the duration of the study. Using study models, they then registered dental erosions in both groups. And surprise, surprise, they found that compared to the control group, the subjects living on a raw food diet had significantly higher levels of dental erosion. About 60% of the raw food group had at least one tooth with a severe dental erosion versus the 31.6% of the control group. Though I must add that the researchers were unable to find a direct cause of the higher risk of dental erosions, but they do have some theories, and one of those theories is fruit. Once again, I really don't want people to think that fruit is dangerous or that you shouldn't eat fruit. Remember that the average person needs about 2,000 calories a day, and a person who's eating an entirely raw fruit diet, fruits are very, very low in calories and very high in sugar and very high in acid. Someone who eats a mostly fruit diet who plans on getting enough calories for the day is probably eating 20 to 30 pounds of fruit a day. So don't think I'm trying to spread misinformation or fear about the importance of fruit. Laura Jeffers also highlighted some of the possible nutritional deficiencies, such as low levels of B12, calcium, vitamin D, iodine, and omega-3 fatty acids. There's also that nasty B12 that many fruitarians don't talk about. This is something that most vegans should know. Most vegans should know to supplement for B12. There are no plants that can give you an adequate amount of B12. B12 is not even produced in plants, it's actually produced by a strain of bacteria. Now, meat eaters get most of their B12 through meat because the animals are also supplemented with B12 for, again, the same issue. But all vegans, regardless of one's diet, should be supplementing for B12 or be eating plenty of fortified fruits and vegetables. Fruitarians, of course, are at even greater risk of developing B12 deficiency compared to the rest of us because of the increased restrictiveness of this diet. And this is no joke, but I have actually seen vegans on various vegan Facebook groups encourage eating dirty fruits in order to get an adequate amount of B12. Now, the vegansociety.com has an excellent article on the importance of obtaining B12. It encourages that all vegans eat either fortified foods or supplements that are only proven reliable sources. The United States National Institutes of Health also has a really lengthy and informative article on the importance of B12. They also suggest vegan foods that are supplemented with B12. They also highlight a few groups of people who are at increased risk of developing B12 deficiency, one of those being, surprise, surprise, vegetarians who consume no animal foods, aka vegans. Let's now discuss the logical fallacy that Logan deploys and that many fruitarians deploy. It appears as though Logan's main argument for a 100% raw fruitarian diet is, well, it's natural. And not only does this claim have no scientific basis, it also is logically flawed. Appeal to nature is a fallacy of reasoning which asserts that because something is natural, it must be optimal, or it must be beneficial, or it must be the best choice. This form of reasoning is wrong for many, many reasons, the most obvious being that whether or not something is natural is rarely an indication of whether or not it is optimal for humans. Arsenic is a naturally reoccurring element and is very bad for human health. It can cause many different forms of cancer to different organs in the body and can even change our cell DNA and the way that our cells communicate with each other. Arsenic can cause skin cancer, bladder cancer, kidney cancer, and heart disease. Not exactly optimal for human health. Now, Logan asserts that he is not appealing to nature. He states that he's just pointing out that humans have evolved to eat a fruit-centered diet, and that a fruit-centered diet is therefore the optimal diet for humans, which is false, and more false. Firstly, he is absolutely appealing to nature. He's making the claim that humans have evolved to eat a fruit-centered diet, and that therefore a fruit-centered diet is optimal for human health. This is appeal to nature. Also, he's wrong because a fruit diet is not optimal for human health, and humans did not evolve to eat fruits. We're not frugivores, we're not frugofoliivores, and we're not herbivores. No respectable or knowledgeable anthropologist or biologist would ever assert that humans are herbivores. The Vegetarian Resource Group has a great article debunking the myth that humans are somehow herbivores because our biology and anatomy resembles that of an herbivore. It talks about the most often confusion between taxonomy, which is biological classification, the confusion of taxonomy with diet. No, humans are not herbivores. Even if humans were natural frugivores or herbivores, it would in no way be the optimal diet, considering the large amount of nutrient deficiencies that it would put us at risk for. Logan is also wrong because the vast majority of the fruits that we eat today are not natural. They're nothing like the fruits that our ancestors ate. The vast majority of fruits and vegetables that we eat today are the result of thousands of years of intensive farming and hybridization. Take bananas, for example. Here's what bananas look like before the modern-day creation of the Cavendish banana. Far less nutritious, they're smaller, more difficult to grasp, they are filled with really unappetizing seeds, and they just taste not as good. But as with the case with many other fruits, humans decided, let's make this more nutritious, easier to grasp, and more tasty. Yes, Logan, my unnatural diet, supplied of unnatural fruits and vegetables, is enough for me to meet my nutritional requirements. The evidence shows overwhelmingly that the diet that humans have evolved to eat is an omnivorous one which incorporates meat, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, and legumes. These are all foods humans have evolved to be able to digest. Of course, modern research has also shown that eating a vegan diet, one could easily obtain all the nutrients that they need, further debunking the myth that what is natural is always what is optimal. I could make a 50-minute video hurling random research articles and studies at you all day long, but it's also important to recognize, just in general, scientific consensus. Scientific consensus is a general agreement of top researchers in any given scientific field of study. Just like Logan and I, scientists disagree with each other on all kinds of topics, from the causes and cures to various kinds of cancer to the theoretical possibility of time travel. Sometimes experts can even promote ideas which go against basic consensus. We call these flukes or quacks. Despite what some expert quacks or flukes might want to promote, climate change is an undeniable truth and is scientific consensus. NASA satellites have captured images of the Earth's climate heating up and the ice at both poles melting faster than they can reform. That and the obvious rise of global sea level. The problem with not acknowledging scientific consensus is that it promotes the idea that all claims can be verified if there is even the slightest amount of evidence to support that claim. For example, I could make a claim that smoking is good for one's health, and I could cherry pick my way to supporting this claim. Despite numerous years of research from the World Health Organization, the FDA, and the CDC, someone who ignores scientific consensus can throw two studies at you and conclude that smoking is actually good for you. In fact, a 2010 Harvard study found that smoking and Parkinson's disease have an inverse relationship. Surprisingly, smoking has a few other direct benefits, such as a decreased risk of becoming obese and a decreased risk of death after suffering some heart attacks. The last criticism that I have is that he misrepresents my position on the importance of studies. He mentioned in his video that we don't need studies to show that banging your head repeatedly into a wall is harmful, and we certainly don't. And I certainly haven't said anything that's ridiculous that would allude to that. I certainly don't need scientific studies to suggest that if I jump off of the Eiffel Tower, I could likely die. It's a bit odd that I even have to explain that. However, there are certain things that we cannot just intuit, such as the long-term effects of a fruit-exclusive diet on a human, or the cause of various forms of cancer. Alrighty guys, thank you for watching so much. If I ramble on too long or don't edit this properly, this could easily be the longest video I've ever made. And I also wanted to say that I'm not going to be doing any more videos on fruitarianism or other pseudoscientific fad diets. I also have to keep in mind who I'm responding to. I do still have a pretty specific vision about the direction that I want to take this channel in, and this kind of stuff is definitely not it. I don't know Logan personally, and I don't follow his YouTube channel, but he seems like the kind of person who will continue to make response videos until he feels that he's on top. It seems like he really doesn't appreciate any kind of science that goes against his obvious bias. So no, I will not be doing any more response videos to Logan. I just wanted to make this video as a way to elaborate and expand upon some of the stuff that I talked about in the live stream. And that is it, guys. I will have a video coming up soon on secular humanism, and I have to finish up writing the script for that, and I will soon have that up for you. Thanks, guys, for watching. Peace.